So if you've ever tried making characters in Blender, you know how it goes. You're constantly fighting with different tools. You get a model, but it has no clothes, or you have to pose it all by hand, and getting it to look right can just be a huge pain. Today we're going to fix that. I'm going to walk you through Human Generator Ultimate. It's an awesome tool that basically puts everything you need, body sculpting, skin, hair, clothes, and even expressions and posing, all into one panel. I'll show you the whole process, starting with a quick setup guide. If you already have it installed, or if you just want to see everything Human Generator Ultimate can do, feel free to skip to the timestamp on the screen now to get right into the fun stuff. The link for the add-on is down in the description. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more videos like this. And now, let's get creative. Alright, first things first. Getting it installed is super easy. Download your HumanGen 3D zip file and all the HGPack content files. Put them together in a folder where you can easily find them. In Blender, go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, click Install, and select the HumanGen 3D zip file. Once it's enabled, you'll see a few simple steps in the add-on's preferences. In step 2, just tell Blender where to install the content packs, and step 3, you'll navigate to that folder you made, select all the HGPack files, and hit Install All Content Packs. It takes a moment, but it's that simple. Once that's done, open your end panel, and let's dive in by selecting a starting human. It drops you right into the Body tab, and this is our foundation. Think of this stage like building the initial clay armature for a sculpture. Before we get into the fine details of the face and skin, we need to get the core proportions right. You have a ton of sliders for the overall body shape, and you can also get incredibly specific, dialing in the length of the arms and hands, adjusting the exact shape of the torso and the hips. You can make your character more athletic and muscular or softer, and remember, all these sliders can be pushed up or down from the default, so you're not locked into any single body type. As I'm sculpting here, you'll notice the hair looks kind of sparse and weird, but you can just ignore that for now. It's a placeholder to give you a sense of a silhouette, but we'll get a proper look at the real hair system later on. Next up, the Age tab. This is much more than a simple old-young slider. It intelligently modifies the face and body shape, the skin texture, and even the hair color all at once. It's here that you get your first real taste of the skin details. The normal strength slider is your control for fine surface texture. Turn it down for that smooth, almost airbrushed look, or you can crank it up to add the subtle bumps and imperfections that really sell realism. Cavity strength is more for things like pores and deeper set lines, and you also have these handy age female and age young sliders, which act like quick one-click presets to get you kind of in the right ballpark. Now for the Head tab, where your character personality really starts to emerge. A huge piece of advice here, always do this with the hair hidden. The hairline can really trick your eye when you're trying to get the forehead and temple shape just right, so toggling it off gives you a much clearer view of the actual head shape. And make sure to orbit your view as you work. A change to the jaw might look perfect from the front, but create a really strange profile look from the side. You'll have an incredible amount of control here. The overall skull shape, the size and placement of the eyes and ears, you can change the size, shape, and even how far they stick out from the head. The nose has a whole suite of sliders for the bridge, the nostrils, and its overall position on the face, and you can carve out sharp cheekbones, define the jaw and chin. It's really pretty much everything you can think of. If you're feeling a bit lost, there are presets at the bottom that are a great way to kickstart some ideas. And just like the body, there's an eye scale slider here for getting that exaggerated, stylized look. The Height tab is pretty self-explanatory, but it's still really powerful. You can see the height in centimeters with a handy feet-inches conversion right at the top if that's how you measure. For the female model, you can go all the way up to almost 7 feet, and for this model in particular, it goes down to 5'5". One important thing to remember is any changes you made to the leg, shin, or thigh length back in the Body tab, it'll directly affect the final height here. It all does work together. Okay, let's dive into the Skin tab because this is where the magic happens for realism. You can adjust the base color, redness, and saturation to get the exact skin tone you're after. You can also play with the multiplier sliders, which controls basically whether the skin looks shiny and moist or more dull and matte. For my fellow Cycles users, this part is critical. Make sure to toggle on the subsurface scattering. I'm going to switch over to Cycles and just put some lights in real quick just to show you a little bit better. So look at that difference on the screen. It simulates how light penetrates the surface of the skin and bounces around, which is what gives it that soft, fleshy, really realistic quality, and it's a must-have. You can also layer on details like freckles and splotches for that extra touch of natural imperfection. The eye customization here is also really fantastic. You can change the sclera, that's the whites of the eyes, to any color. So if you're making a demon character, you can make them solid black with a single click. For a sci-fi alien, maybe a deep blue or green, and it really opens up a lot of creative doors. The iris itself has multiple color layers, so you can create those really complex and beautiful hazel or multi-toned eyes that are really hard to achieve otherwise. When you get close up, you can really see how much detail they put into this. And to top it all off, you get a full makeup suite. Foundation, blush, eyeshadow, lipstick, and eyeliner. You can create some really fun looks whether you're getting a character ready for a party, going to work, or designing a full-on fantasy costume. Next, let's talk about the hair tab. The included library of hairstyles is excellent. Once you pick one that you like, you can dive into the material settings and really make it your own. You have sliders for hue, lightness, and redness to get the perfect color. You can add salt and pepper to introduce some gray strands for an older character. The roughness slider is great for controlling the look from silky shiny hair to a more dry matte style. And you can even add different colored roots for a character who's maybe grown out their dye job or purposely dyed in an ombre. And it doesn't have to be a realistic color. You can really make it any color you want. The eyebrows and eyelashes are also controlled in this section. Now, the included hair is great, but if you're a specialist who loves crafting your own hair, you can just hit the trash icon once you close up the materials to remove the hair system entirely. This is perfect if you want to use a dedicated tool like Hair Painter, which is an absolutely incredible tool I covered in my video on curve add-ons, and I'll make sure to link that down in the description too. It can be a great companion to this workflow. Now, for something that's usually a massive headache, clothes. In the Clothes tab, you can skip the nightmare of modeling, simulating, and rigging clothes from scratch by starting with a preset outfit just to get something on your character quickly. From there, you can click on any individual piece to customize its materials. You get sliders for base color, roughness, and normal values, and you can even apply patterns with full control over scale and rotation, just like you would in the regular shader editor. It's an incredibly powerful and time-saving feature. And speaking of time savers, let's look at the Poses tab. Posing is usually where creative projects grind to a halt. You spend hours moving individual bones, fighting with inverse kinematics, and it can be a nightmare. This tab solves just that. There's a massive library of poses here, and a quick tip, don't make the mistake I did at first and miss this scroll bar down at the bottom. There are a ton more poses than you first see. You have dynamic action poses, casual standing poses, seated poses. Just find one that you like, and in a single click, the entire skeleton is perfectly posed. It takes care of the hands, the feet, the individual fingers, the subtle curves of the spine, the tilt of the neck. Literally everything is done for you. To go with that, the Expressions tab lets you really breathe life and emotion into your character's face. Now, sometimes you'll apply an expression and it might look a bit weird or exaggerated depending on the face you've built. But what's really amazing about this add-on's workflow is that it's all non-destructive. So you can just jump right back into the head tab and make subtle tweaks to the mouth or eyes with the expressions still active until it looks perfect. That kind of iterative freedom is a huge deal. So you've made one perfect character, but what if you need a crowd? That's where the batch generation comes in. So imagine you're building a city street scene. Populating it with unique, high-quality characters could take days of work. With this tool, you can set your parameters, the percentage of different ethnicities, the gender mix, the style of clothing, and then automatically generate a whole crowd. You can even control the height variation and, critically, the quality level. For characters way in the background, you can turn the quality down to save your precious system resources. To place them, you just press Shift-A and use the human generator markers at the bottom of the menu. You can drop in markers for a group socializing, someone running, or a person sitting on a bench. Choose your poses, place your generators, and then hit Generate Humans, and it fills your scene automatically. This might take a little bit of time, depending on your quality and your system, so just be patient. From there, you can still click on any of those generated characters and edit them individually to get the perfect final touches. Maybe you don't like the pose or the hair that it generated, or want to change the outfits a little bit. These are all things that you can change if you click on the character or the clothing itself. Finally, when you're ready to get your creation out of Blender, the Processing tab is your export pipeline. This automates all the technical busy work. It can bake all your textures into image files, automatically apply all your modifiers, and generate things like hair cards and LODs, which are essential for game engines to maintain performance. You have professional options here for renaming the bones in the skeleton to match engine requirements, and you can even add your own custom Python scripts to the process. If you don't want to export, you can also duplicate this and create separate collections for different rendering purposes. It's a truly complete end-to-end character creation solution. So yeah, that's a full look at the Human Generator Ultimate add-on. For anyone who does character work, it's just a massive time saver, and the results are really fantastic and very high quality. The link to check it out is in the description below. If this walkthrough is helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know in the comments what you think you'll make with it. And of course, as always, until next time, take care of yourself and each other.